Okie dokie, we are live. Hello and welcome. If you're here, say hello, let me know you're here. And always thrilled to be connecting with you and welcome each and every one of you. And a special warm welcome. I know we've got a few newbies, some newcomers. So thank you for being here. I just want to honor all of you for showing up, not just live, but also the replays. And I love the fact that you hashtag replay. You let me know that you're watching the replays and that you're getting something valuable from it. So hats off to all of you. Okay, so for the newcomers, we do Facebook Lives every Tuesday, 12 o'clock noon Pacific time. And the overarching theme is always around self-expansion, greater self-expression, which is what we're talking about today. So answering your calling, your divine purpose, radical self-love, unconditional self-acceptance, owning your worth, letting go of things that don't serve you, manifestation, lots of goodies, right? Universal laws. I'm very passionate about universal laws. I think I can do that next week. How to really be a conscious wealth creator. And it's not just about money. It is about money, but it's so much more about that, more than that. So about creating the wealth you want in your health, in your relationships, in your business, your career. But again, the overarching theme is around self-expression and living according to your truth, right? Living according to your truth. So again, if you're here, say hello, let me know you're here. And we're gonna dive right in. If you know me, I don't like to do a lot of chit chat. It's like all about getting in there. Let me just check the, yeah, we're good. Okay, so today's topic is the 5 absolute must-have essential nuggets as you move towards your greater self-expansion. Okay, so as you close the gap from where you are and where you want to be, what you want to create, what are those must-haves? As you go through the creative process, a lot of us, we've been talking about how to go from thoughts to feelings or vibrations in our body to action to results. And that's the creative process. So we've been talking a lot about that. We're not going to go into that today. It's more how to support that creative process. What are the 5 absolute must-have nuggets that can support you as you're going through this creative process, as we're moved to greater self-expansion? And I just want to make this point first and foremost. It's really, really important. And that is, hello girls. And that is quite often we'll say, oh, well, what's wrong with where I'm at right now, Janine? Like, is there something bad, wrong, or not worthy or something? And I really, really want to ingrain this in us that where we are now today is not bad. It's not wrong. We're not unworthy. And in fact, it's the exact opposite. It's understanding that exactly where we are is absolutely perfect. And we're here for self-expansion. We're always, whether you call it God, creator, source, is always wanting to express in and through us. So yes, be grateful for where you are right now, because who you are right now is your natural state, is abundance, is wealth, is whole, is complete. There's nothing lacking. And it's recognizing this is what moves us forward. So first and foremost, that's alignment, recognizing who you really are. And we are here for greater expansion. And that is where I find a lot of us stifle ourselves. We put the lid on ourselves. We move and then we kind of stop. So we are here for greater expansion. So we got to answer that call, whatever it might be. So let's dive in the top 5 essential nuggets as you move to greater self-expansion. So some of these might seem obvious. Again, if you're here, say hello, let me know you're here. And some of these might seem obvious, but I want you to ask yourself, have I done, so these 5 nuggets, ask yourself, have I done this, or am I doing this, or have I implemented, or am I clear what this is? So for each one, ask yes or no, and then take the notes how you can implement, how you can take an action. So the first one, let's dive in. The first one is having a crystal clear desire. Number 1, do you have a crystal clear desire? Now, whether you call this a desire, a yearning, a goal, an intention, whether it's the big picture for your whole life, your life's vision, what you want to create before you, leave, or if it's just something you want to create in the next, few weeks. Either way, whatever it is it crystal clear? Is it crystal clear? It's identifying in the bigger picture, our bigger vision, it's what we're here to do. So it's what we all have. It's innate within us. It's a unique expression to you. And if we're not getting excited about getting out of bed in the morning, I mean, not every morning, I mean, we're human, right? But for the most part, if we're not excited about getting up in the morning, we got to take a good hard look at that, right? Like, why aren't we getting excited? We're here to live fully. So it's like, where am I blocking myself? So get quiet, get still, get curious and follow those breadcrumbs. The quieter you get, you're going to get little hits of inspiration. Follow the inspiration and take some sort of action. The path will always unfold if you take some sort of action. You're going to be met with that. So when you can identify your desire, that also means, as I know a lot of you have been in my workshop, when we identify that desire within us, it also means we have the ability to create it, to achieve it. So number one is crystal clear desire. So is that a yes or a no? So just to yourself, just make a note to yourself, all right? A yes or a no. And then what is the action item you can do? And it's not just any action, it's inspired action. It's from the place of being quiet and getting still and going within. It's from that place you take action. Inspired and in perfect action. Okay, so that's one. Are we good on there? Are you guys with me? Say yes, I got it. And share insights. It's crazy how when someone says, oh, I didn't think about that, right? Play off of each other. Share, share, share. So number two is, have you made a conscious choice to be all in committed? Have you made a conscious choice to be all in committed? Right? Have you decided and chosen? Perfect. This might seem like a given. Well, yeah, of course I chose it, right? But this step, a lot of people think they've made it, but they actually haven't. We go, yeah, no, I want to create that. But we have what I call a chicken exit, right? So it's like, yeah, but then we've got this thing, well, but if it doesn't work out, like I'm going to kind of go out the side door here, right? My chicken exit. So we say things like, we'll create a goal, whether it's in our head or written down or on a vision board or whatever, you have it, but we have a chicken exit. So we say things like, well, I'll see how it goes, right? Or I'll try it out. Or, well, I've got this side thing that if this doesn't work out, I'm, going to go over here and try that, right? I want to move towards this new side hustle, or start my whole new business, but I'm not willing to let go of my job in case it doesn't work out, right? Like, what if you totally close that door and you totally committed? So do you dip your toe in? Just one toe? Maybe 9.5 toes, right? But what if you fully, 100%, no chicken exit, no back door, come high or hell water, you committed, you declared that this is going to be yours, doing whatever it takes. So just imagine if you had do whatever it takes energy and you put that out in the universe, you're going to be met with do whatever it takes energy. You're going to be met with that energy. So do you have chicken exit energy, right? Do you have chicken exit energy? And most of us do, right? Close the gate, shut off the chicken exit. No chickens, no chicken exits, done deal. So ask yourself, have you made a conscious decision to be all in committed? It's a yes or a no. And you don't have to share this. It could be quite personal if you want to, great. Is it a yes or a no? Have you made a conscious decision to be all in committed to your desire, your goal, your yearning, your vision? So yes or no, and then what is that inspired action you can take? Inspired in perfect action. So that's number two. Have you made a conscious choice to be all in committed? Number three, there's 5 of them, so we're almost there. Know your fuel. Do you know your fuel? A lot of people will call this your why. I like fuel because it really is the fuel that moves you forward. So what is your fuel? What is your why? If it's to be rich, just to have a lot of money in the bank, that could be okay. But dig a little deeper, right? Or is it to make a difference? Is it to leave a legacy? Is it to be a role model? right? This is your fuel. For me, for sure, it's my daughters. I've got two daughters, as some of you know, and it's to be that role model, that example of possibility, to be to know that anything is possible and that you are the creator of your life, right? As long as we start living according to truth. So, what is that fuel for you? So you can experience life fully. So that also helps you when you get stuck or unmotivated, or you get off your path, or someone knocks you off course. Maybe you listen to some naysayers, you become unmotivated or deflated or depleted. You can fuel yourself back up, right? Let me know you're with me. Like, just let's say, yeah, with you. Gotcha, Janine, with you. Let me know, give me some feedback so I understand you're here. So your fuel, your why is so important, because it's like your desire acts like your GPS, right? You know where you're going. This is where I'm going. This is my path. And then your why, your fuel, is just that. It fuels you forward. You get a little bit off, it gets you back on track. Right, my daughters are watching me. I'm going to make sure I'm being that role model example of possibility. I've got a legacy to leave, right? It fuels me, right? Yeah, awesome. I did recently, I just updated mine, and just because I felt inspired, right? And it was probably like 60 seconds, and I wrote maybe, I don't know, 10 lines, a third of a page ish, give or take. And it just flowed through me. And so it doesn't take a long time. It's just do what it takes, because that is your fuel. So again, yes or no? Know your fuel. Do you know your fuel? Is it a yes? 100% clear? For my kids, leave a legacy, make a difference, show yourself, like answering your calling. Like, is that a yes or no? Right? And I'm totally aware that there's kind of in between, like maybe I'm a little clear on this area, but not so much. Like, whatever it is, just define it so you can move forward. And then what's that action item? Okay, number 4 is, do you have some visual representation of your desire and your fuel? But I'm talking more the desire here. Do you have some sort of visual representation? So have you taken it out of your head and put it into either paper or art or a vision board, some sort of visual representation? And they've done studies. I don't recall the study and I don't remember the details, but in a nutshell, the essence of the study was that when you take it out of your head and you put it on paper or some representation, and you articulate it and you continually revisit it, that you're more likely to achieve that. So probably not any surprises, probably not like revolutionary. However, are we doing it right? I actually did a blog too about, I did a blog, I think it was last year, and the title was something like why vision boards don't work. Now let me elaborate, because I wasn't saying it's the be and end all, that vision boards do not work for everyone in all circumstances. The idea was more, there are circumstances where vision boards don't work. So here's what I mean by that. So if you had a vision board that, let's say you had a bunch of Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I'm just using this to make an extreme example, because sometimes when you make it extreme, it's so obvious. So you got all these Lamborghinis and Porsches and Ferraris or whatever all over your vision board. But you can't scrape enough money just even for bus fare, right? So it's quite a gap. So when someone who can't scrape money together just to get on the bus and they're looking at their vision board, they're probably going to be going, whether consciously or unconsciously, they're affirming it's not here, it's not happening, I don't see it. And it's this lack energy, this lack perception. There's no feeling like, yeah, I can feel it, the presence is here. I'm looking off here because I got my vision board right here. It's not really a vision board. It's anyways, I won't go there, but it's just my visual representation. So when you have a visual representation, be sure you can, when you look at it, you feel into it, you can practice its presence. If you can't practice the presence of your visual representation, you need to either you need to revisit that visual representation, your goal, because it's too far of a stretch that is going to knock you off. So it needs to be believable. It needs to feel, you need to feel the presence of it. And that's where I do find a lot of people say, well, I had the vision board, I had that, it just doesn't work. Well, it does work. Absolutely, because these are laws at play. It always works. It's just if on the unconscious, sometimes we'll say, well, it's just not here. So you must be able to practice the presence of it. Yeah, okay. You must be able to go, it's here, it's a done deal. I can see it, smell it, taste, touch. Done deal. So do you have a visual representation? Yes or no? Or maybe somewhere in between where you just need to tweak it or update it, right? And do you practice the presence of it? Like all the time. Live, eat, breathe. I'm serious. So is it yes or a no? And what's the action you can do? You guys realize you're going to have 5 action steps, right? If depending on anywhere between 0 and 5, I guess. Okay, so we're good with that one. So step 5 is a really, really biggie, huge, because it takes a lot of belief, a lot of courage to really move forward, because we're working against maybe our subconscious, naysayers in our lives. Have to do step 4, yeah, and most of us do, right? So step 5, I'm holding up 10 fingers here. It's just 5. Step 5 is protect your energy. Do you protect your energy? And you're protecting your energy from others, but also yourself. So what I want to say about protecting your energy from yourself, I think I did a Facebook Live, maybe January, I'm just guessing here. And it was around the 10 things make sure you don't say to yourself, something like that. It was worded very differently than that. But it was around the 10 phrases not to say, right? Yeah, so this is what I want to say about step 5, protect your energy from others and yourself is never, ever, ever speak what you don't want. Write that down. Never speak what you don't want. You know, now if you're with a therapist or a coach or a mentor, sure, share the story so you can explain it so there's an understanding, but never ever speak what you don't want. Oh shoot, I can't afford that. I so want to do that. Oh, I wish I could, but I can't, right? No, because what are we doing? We're just affirming that, right? And never ever ever speak against yourself, whether it's verbally or self-talk, right? Whether it's something you're actually physically saying, articulating, or even some self-talk. So protect your energy from yourself. But here's the biggie. They're both biggies, but this is a real easier one to do. Well, easier said than done maybe. But never hang out with people who don't support you or your vision, your desire. Like, no. Like, no, I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, my friend always says, my colleague, like, stop. And I get that sometimes we've got family or we've got some, coworkers that it's harder to get around. But sometimes we're voluntarily hanging out with these people. I did a quote, I don't know if I shared it here. And the quote was, when you start seeing your worth, you'll stop hanging out with those who don't. And my question to you is, who are you hanging out with that doesn't support you? And again, if it's family, you might need to taper back, or maybe you need to speak your truth, maybe you need to learn boundaries. But here's my question for you. If you are voluntarily hanging out with energies, and I'm mostly talking about people, but it could be even environments, right? But if you're hanging out with energies or people that do not serve you, why? If they don't serve you, why are you still hanging out with them? I'm not saying you've got to make them bad or wrong, right? And in fact, the opposite, love on them, bless them, but move on. Why do we do that? I still have the conversations like, oh, how do I deal with this person? Move on, right? Bless and release. So, bye-bye, run the opposite direction. So true, right? So write that down, right? Ask yourself, like, why do I do that? So here's a question for you guys, and give me some feedback. Should we share our desires, our vision, our yearnings with people? Yes or no? Do we share our desires with our vision, our life plans, our deepest, doesn't mean dirty, dark secrets, but our desires? Yes or no? It's a yes and it's a no. Absolutely share it with all your cheerleaders, the people who support you, raise you up. There's, a handful of you here right now that, like, I know we're cheering each other on. We're rising, helping each other rise, hold each other accountable, holds you in your highest power, right? Cheering each other on. So absolutely. But no, do not share with the naysayers. Do not share with your naysayers. Again, don't make them bad or wrong. Love on them. Again, bless and release. But protect your energy. It's hard enough. Like, it takes boatloads of courage to change sometimes, right? If we're moving against like what other people think, or who am I to do that? Our limiting beliefs, our subconscious kicks in, right? Or old patterns pop up. Like, it takes a boatload of courage sometimes to make a big step. Do not look for evidence. Well, I shouldn't move because some broke, sick, unhealthy person that doesn't have any direction in their life is telling me how I should live, right? Let go. Only hang out with your cheerleaders. Okay, so when it comes to protecting your energy, is that a yes? 100% heck yes or no? And what is that call to action? What is that inspired and imperfect action? So your job is to review your yeses, review your nos, and any action items, and put them into plan, even if it's just little baby steps, even if it's only one step a day. But just please don't come to these lives. There's a ton of juicy stuff here. If you just come and you listen, it probably just goes in through osmosis. You might hear it over and over. Maybe 5 years down the road, you might take action. But you come to these lives, you can put a ton of stuff into implementation and make a big change. So, and I love when you share that you've put these in. I love the notes you guys send me. I love it because this stuff works, right? So if any of you are here listening now or on replay, and if you want to go deeper, a lot of you know that I'm doing the Academy. It starts tomorrow. And I just want to share this, that I've worked with thousands of women in different capacities. And the more I do this work personally and professionally, I see women all the time. They say yes to themselves, right? But to a certain point, right? They end up, at some point, we bump up against our stuff. We bump up against our programming. We bump up against not good enough. We bump up against what other people think of us. We bump up against something. Like, there's a stopping point. Like, what is your stopping point? We need to do whatever we can to break through that. Otherwise, we're just on repeat. We're on default. We're living according to how we've been programmed. And I know this on a personal level because this was me. Like, I had some success in my life, but I didn't feel deeply fulfilled. And it wasn't till, if I'm really honest, I whiffle waffle back and forth, dip my toe in. And it wasn't till after years of doing this, I went, oh my gosh, enough, right? It's like Marianne Williamson said, is that I'm not going to repeat her whole quote, but the whole gist is that we're so fearful of our light, of shining bright, right? But I'm all about, where are you? Where do you want to go? Let's just unlearn. Let's unblock ourselves. We've only got one short life to live here, right? Let's get ourselves out of the way, right? It's the only way you can live a fulfilling life if you unblock yourself. So I'm not going to go through the whole Academy. It does start tomorrow. People join between now and even up to 10 days later. If it resonates with you, have a look at the link. Resonates, pop me a message. And other than that, again, please put this into practice. This is life-changing stuff. So it's a pleasure to be here, pleasure to serve, and have an amazing day. Love to all. Bye-bye.